For today's lesson, we are going to create an optical illusion with positive and negative space. On your smaller square, you are going to create some lines with pencil on each side of your paper. Because of the video, I'm going to use a marker so that you can see what I'm drawing. So from one edge, you're going to start and create some kind of line, not too intricate and crazy because you're going to have to cut it out. But that line is going to start on the same edge and end on the same edge. I'm going to do that on all four sides. I'm going to make each of these lines different. They're never going to touch each other, so there's a space between them. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom edge, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the fourth edge. Again, these lines are never touching each other. They're spaced out nicely. Once you have them drawn, again, in pencil, I just used marker for the video, I'm going to cut them out. It is important for this project that you stay on these lines as best as possible. I am really using my opposite hand and moving this paper to stay on that line. You cannot take cheater cuts in this project. And what I mean by that is I can't just chop this part off and go to the edge of the paper. We have to stay completely on this line, so at the end, the shapes fit together perfectly like a puzzle. So I have two of them cut out. On to the third one. Really using that opposite hand to move my paper so I can cut nicely. And my last side. Kind of looks like a bird's beak opening up there, that triangle shape. All right, now the fun begins. We're gonna put this back together like a puzzle. So you're gonna find the matching shapes. Get that bird's beak in there. There it is. Putting it together. This one is gonna fit right there. Got the shape right there and here. Your next step is to flip these little pieces over like a book page. So I'm gonna take it and just flip it over. You can see how this is now a symmetrical shape. Half of it is negative, half of it's positive. I cut this shape out, I can see it, I can feel it. It's there, it's positive. I'm gonna do the same thing at the bottom, flipping it over like a book page, and the opposite side, and the top. If you use pencil, you will be able to erase those lines that you maybe didn't cut perfectly on. So now what I'm gonna do is I am going to glue the middle piece first. And I'm gonna flip this over, and it's so important that you glue on the right side. So I'm gonna flip this over and glue. When I glue, I wanna try to get all those tiny little pieces, not globs all over, just a little bit of glue. Now I'm gonna lay that down in the middle of my background as best as I can and gently press it. Next, I'm gonna glue those tiny shapes I cut out. So here is the important trick. This one fit in here perfectly. I flip it like a book page, and I wanna line up those sides so they touch each other. All right, just like that, I'm gonna glue on the back side. I want those sides to touch exactly where I cut it out so I can really see that whole symmetrical shape. Same thing on all four sides. If you are somebody who did not cut perfectly, I strongly encourage you to erase your pencil lines before you glue. Trying to erase on wet glue gets a little tricky. So a finished project should have really neat craftsmanship. You shouldn't see any pencil lines. You should have nice, neat gluing. And this will go in the drying rack to dry